Hare Krishna. So we'll offer some prayers. Namo Vishnupadaya.
Namo Vishnupadaya.
Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale.
Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale.
Srimate Bhaktivedanta.
Srimate Bhaktivedanta.
Swaminiti Namine.
Swaminiti Namine.
Namaste Saraswate Deve.
Namaste Saraswate Deve.
Gauravani Pracharine.
Gauravani Pracharine.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Paschatya Deshatarine.
Paschatya Deshatarine.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
इसका हाइट का कम कर सकते हैं तीनों ट्राइबल्स. Tenth canto talks about Rasi of Krishna, but before that there are 9 cantos, and in these 9 cantos we understand this creation, position of Krishna as compared to other devatas, the purpose of human form life, other pure devotees, their dealings with Krishna. So only when a person goes through these 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, he becomes, prepared, his mentality is fully prepared to understand the position of Radha and Krishna and their dealings. Correct? So this kind of professional bhajan or Bhagavad Katha is not appreciated in the scriptures. Because this is simply ultimately meant for sense gratification for both the reciter and the audience who are hearing. So there is one Khatu Sham temple, very famous near Jaipur. A lot of people go there. So there was one person in touch with us, so he invited us that Prabhuji, you should come there and do some Sankirtan program. I am organizing a very big program and I have invited a lot of other organizations. You should also come there. So it was like a full day program and he gave us an evening slot for Sankirtan. So we also went there. We thought so many people will be there. We will get an opportunity to preach, distribute books. So our slot was in the evening. So we went there. It was a big pandal set up and thousands of people were there in that place. So, we did our Sankirtan. We asked people to take some books and other things. And then we were winding up after our Sankirtan program. We were about to leave that place. So this organizer, this person who was known to us, he said, Prabhuji, don't leave. Be here only for some time. Then I asked him, why you want us to be here? No, Prabhuji, just now, very big, known bhajan singer is coming here. You should attend his program. He's a very nice singer. And he's a very famous singer, it seems, in that place. And people, admire him. He's a very great devotee, this thing. So we thought, okay, he's requesting us, we'll also stay back. We'll also see how he sings, how he performs these things, Sankirtan. So he stayed back. So this person came with his entire team, there were many instruments, all very professional singer. And then we got to know that he's going to sing for the entire night. That was the level of stamina he had. He's going to perform the entire night. So we thought, we will attend some portion of it, then we'll leave. So program started. And suddenly when he started singing, there were a lot of people there, the audience. Suddenly there were a lot of people coming in the pandal to attend this Kirtan program. So then he started singing and everybody was participating. He was singing some Krishna bhajan, different songs. So while the program was going on, in between one person came from behind stage and he whispered something in his ears and he went back. And after he heard, he immediately stopped singing. And there was a complete silence in the pandal. People also stopped singing, he also started, everything stopped. And then he said, कि आज जो हमने भजन गाया है भगवान का, उसमें बहुत अच्छी खबर आपको सुनाना चाहता हूँ. We were also thinking what he's going to share now, some instruction from Bhagavad Gita, something like that. He said, अभी मुझे खबर मिली है, India has won the match. And everybody, entire pandal was fully excited. Again he started bhajan with full excitement and everybody dancing. So then we thought, no, we should leave now this way. हमारा भजन हो गया है. And he was singing in full tempo and it is going on, everybody dancing. Now the ecstasy level was 10th level, if it was 1. So, this is the reality which is there in this world. Externally, somebody will appear like a very exalted devotee, something like, but you don't know what is going on is only Paramatma knows. So you can show to the entire world, but you cannot cheat the person who is there inside the heart. Sarvasya cham hirde sanivishta. Krishna is asking us that you approach a person who has sincere desire to attain my shelter, intense desire to serve me. So if you approach a person who has that sincere desire to serve me, intense desire to offer me devotional service, you will also develop that kind of desire if you approach a person like this. So that is why it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one should taste the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of pure devotees. And one should associate with devotees who are more advanced than oneself and who are endowed with a similar type of affection for the. Ideally speaking, Srimad Bhagavatam has to be heard from a pure devotee of Krishna. We can see in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, when Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die within 7 days. So he never approached any ordinary person. He approached Shukdev Goswami, son of Vyasadeva. So we have to accept mode of Parikshit Maharaj in our life. And today we are very fortunate. We don't have to go to any forest like Parikshit Maharaj, correct? Today in our phones only all the recorded lectures of pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada are there, or Srimad Bhagavatam. Any time we can play those lectures. So if we hear from a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, then we'll make real advancement in our spiritual life. From me, it is to be concluded that I am existing in everything. तो कृष्ण एग्जाम्पल क्या दिया? Earthen pot. Earthen pot को अगर हम लोग देखते हैं किसका बना होता है? There are 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and sky. Correct? And these 5 elements are actually energies of Krishna. Now Krishna talks about, in comparison to earthen pot, if you see entire creation is made of these elements only. And if this entire creation is made of all these elements are my energies. Wherever my energy is there, I am also present there. Now just like whenever you see sunlight, sun is there in the sky. So just by looking at sunlight, you think of sun. Because wherever you see sunlight, you see presence of sun is there. But actually sun is present somewhere. But wherever sunlight is present, you see, okay, sun is also present. So Krishna explains that I am present everywhere because everywhere energies are there. So here he explains, in the same way, body of a living being is nothing but a composition of the 5 elements, and the living entity embodied in the material condition is also part and parcel of. Now Krishna explains this body also is made of 5 elements, and these elements are my energies. Actually this body also is my property. But what we think, this body is my body. God is different, I am different. I will use my body as per whatever I want in this body. Krishna, no, this body is also my property, made of my energies. The living entity is imprisoned in the material condition on account of his false conception of himself as a supreme enjoyer. So what we think when we get this body, I am the enjoyer of this body. But actually the proprietor is Krishna. He is supreme enjoyer. This false ego of the living entity is a cause of his imprisonment in material existence. As the supreme absolute truth, I am transcendental to the living entity as well as to his material embodiment. The two energies material and spiritual, are both acting under my supreme control. My dear gopis, I request that instead of being so afflicted, you try to accept everything with a philosophical attitude. So Krishna is preaching to gopis. Are, why are you feeling separation? That I am not there in Vrindavan with you. Are, your body is, this entire creation is made of these elements. And these are all my energies. So I am present everywhere. How you can think I am not there? I am there with you. So I request that instead of being so afflicted, you try to accept everything with a philosophical attitude. Then you will understand that you are always with me and that there is no cause of lamentation in our being separated from one another. There is no separation. I am there always with you. So here comes very important instruction. This important instruction of Lord Krishna's to the gopis can be utilized by all devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness. Actually, whenever Krishna instructs his devotees, Arjuna or gopis, these instructions are meant for. This important instruction of Lord Krishna to gopis can be utilized by all devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness. The whole philosophy is considered on the basis of inconceivable, simultaneous oneness and difference. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that He is present everywhere in His impersonal feature. Everything is existing in Him, but still He is not personally present everywhere. So Krishna is everywhere, at the same time is not there everywhere. This is called Achintya Veda Tattva. Simultaneously, oneness and difference. He is present everywhere. How He is present everywhere? Through His energies. And He is not present everywhere because He personally is not there. The cosmic manifestation is nothing but a display of Krishna's energy, and because the energy is not different from the energetic, nothing is different from Krishna. When this absolute consciousness, Krishna consciousness is absent, we are separated from Krishna. But fortunately, if this Krishna consciousness is present, then we are not separated from Krishna. The process of revival of devotion service is a revival of Krishna consciousness. If the devotee is fortunate enough to understand that material energy is not separate from Krishna, then he can utilize the material energy and its products in service of the Lord. This is called real renunciation. Real renunciation means that everywhere you see Jagat Avyakta Murtina Matsani Sarvadurgan. Krishna explains. Krishna is present everywhere. If you think, oh, there is something material, here Krishna is not there. Actually, this is our illusion. So devotee means who is able to see oh, Krishna is present everywhere. This body is made of 5 elements. This is also Krishna's element. The spirit soul which is there in the body of a person, that is also part and parcel of Krishna. Entire creation has come from the Lord. How can he see anything which is disconnected from Krishna? That is called real understanding of Krishna consciousness. If a person can understand this philosophy, he can easily perform yajna. He will not do any activity disconnected from the Lord. He will not see anything which belongs to him. He will see everything belongs to Krishna. The process of devotion service is a revival of Krishna consciousness. And if the devotee is fortunate enough to understand that material energy is not separated from Krishna, then he can utilize the material energy and its products in the service of the Lord. But in the absence of Krishna consciousness, the forgetful living entity, although part and parcel of Krishna, falsely put himself in the position of enjoyer of the material world. Why these wars are happening? Everybody is thinking, oh, this is my body, this is my country, these people are part of my country, I have to fight for them. People on the other side, they are thinking, oh, this is my religion, this is my country, I have to fight for them. Everybody is fighting. But if they understand, this body is made of 5 elements, from where these 5 elements I got? Who is the person who gave me these 5 elements? Who created this earth planet? If we go to the depth of everything, then there will be no fights in this creation. because of this illusion that something belongs to me, that is a cause of all suffering in this material world. Krishna explains. But in the absence of Krishna consciousness, a forgetful living entity, all the part and parcel of Krishna, falsely put himself in the position of enjoyer of the material world. I am the enjoyer because these things belongs to me. There is nobody else. I am the proprietor of this creation. And thus, being thus implicated in material entanglement, is forced by the material energy to continue his material existence. Thus, this is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. All the living entity is forced to act by the material energy. He falsely thinks that he is the all in all and the supreme enjoyer. Actually, enjoyer means the person who is a proprietor of everything. That only is the person who can claim, I am the one. So if we use our common sense, little intelligence, it is very easy to conclude that all these elements which we see around us, whether this body, this building, this land, anything in this creation is actually energy of Krishna. And if everything belongs to the Lord, He is the real enjoyer. But to develop this mentality is not easy. Theoretically we can talk, Krishna is enjoyer. But inside I am the enjoyer. So that is why this process of bhakti is given. You engage whatever you have in service of Krishna more and more. Then you will develop this understanding, how the Lord is the enjoyer. If the devotee knows perfectly that Archa Vigraha or deity form Lord Krishna in the temple is exactly the same Satchit Ananda Vigraha as Krishna himself, then his service to the temple deity becomes direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, the temple itself, the temple paraphernalia and the food offered to the deity are also not separate from Krishna. तो आप जब टेम्पल में जाते हैं, it is not कि भगवान की विग्रह अंदर है, that is only Krishna. Even the temple building, which is made of these 5 elements, is also property of Krishna. The deity paraphernalia, the arti plate, whatever you offer to the Lord, is also actually energy of Krishna only. So there is nothing which you can say is disconnected from the Lord. Everything is spiritual in this world. It becomes material when we see something disconnected from Krishna. So one has to follow rules and regulations prescribed by the Acharyas, and thus under superior guidance, Krishna realization is fully possible even in this material existence. So in that sense, this thought process that to make spiritual advancement, I have to give up this material world and go to some other world, then I will make progress. That is not the complete understanding of spiritual life. Because there is nothing called material in that sense if you see everything in relation with Krishna. And if you can utilize everything in relation with Krishna. So gopis heard all the instructions from Krishna. And initially gopis are requesting Krishna in Kurukshetra that you please come with us to Vrindavan. In fact, this is a pastime which is connected to Rath Yatra festival in Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu plays that role in Jagannath Puri, role of a gopis. And they are pulling the Ratha of Krishna towards Vrindavan. They want to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. Because Krishna, when he went there from Dwarka, he was sitting on a chariot, Ratha. So gopis wanted to take Krishna to Vrindavan. And Krishna explained in Kurukshetra, why you want to take me to Vrindavan? I am there in Vrindavan. My energies are there, everything is there. Your body is also made of my energy only. I am present with you always. How you can think I am not there? So when Krishna instructed gopis like that, the gopis having been instructed by Krishna in this philosophy of simultaneous oneness and difference, remained always in Krishna consciousness and thus became liberated from all material contamination. Although Krishna was personally not there with them, but still there were always Krishna. How? Because they were able to relate everything around them to Krishna. Similarly, in our life also we can relate everything to Krishna. Even though we are in material. If we have complete understanding of Bhagavad Gita, we can connect each and every activity to Krishna. The consciousness of the living entity who falsely presents himself as an enjoyer of the material world is called Jeev Kosha, which means imprisonment by I am this body, I am the owner of this body, I am the owner of this material world. Everything belongs to me. And real ego means when we understand that everything is energy of Krishna, even my soul is also part and parcel of Krishna. So Prabhupada explained in this world, everybody is trying to enjoy. Nobody is inclined to be enjoyed by Krishna. When you attain that mentality, to being enjoyed by Krishna, that is a state of liberation. But in this material world, everybody is trying to enjoy. I want to enjoy. Everybody is trying to exploit natural resources, exploit others for their enjoyment. Nobody is interested in serving Krishna. Not only gopis, but anyone who follows the instructions of Krishna becomes immediately freed from Jeev Kosha imprisonment. A person with full Krishna consciousness is always liberated from false egoism. He utilizes everything for Krishna's service and is not at any time separated from Krishna. So when we see around us everything with that understanding, whatever I see actually is energy of Krishna. There is nothing disconnected from the Lord. That is where a person can always remain in Krishna consciousness. He will never be separated from the Lord. And this is how gopis were living in Vrindavan. Although Krishna was personally not there with them, but they were always Krishna conscious. Then what gopis said after hearing from Krishna? The gopis therefore prayed to Krishna, Dear Krishna, from your navel emanated the original lotus flower, which is a birth site of Brahma, the creator. No one can estimate your glories or your opulence, which therefore remain always a mystery, even to the highest thoughtful men. So gopis are saying, you are from your navel, who came out? Brahma. So Krishna expanded himself into one form, Garbhodakshaya. From his Garbha who came? Brahma. The conditioned soul, fallen in the dark well of this material existence, can very easily, however, take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Thus his deliverance is guaranteed. The gopis continued, Dear Krishna, we are always busy in our family affairs, and we therefore request that you remain within our hearts as a rising sun, and that will be your greatest benediction. So gopis are asking Krishna, Lord, we are engaged in so many family affairs, family activities, but we ask you one benediction. What is that? That you don't leave us. Always remind us of your presence. So that is why the highest instruction of Vedas is, essence of all the Vedas is, to always think of Krishna. Never forget Krishna. That is the essence of all the Vedas. The gopis are always liberated souls because they are fully in Krishna consciousness. They only pretended to be entangled in household affairs in Vrindavan. So they were pretending, as if they are engaged in household activities, so they don't have time. But that is not the case. They are fully in Krishna consciousness. In spite of the long separation, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the gopis, are not interested in the idea of going with Krishna to his capital, Dwarka. Now there were two options. One option was to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. There was one more option. What was the other option? To go with Krishna to Dwarka. There also they can remain with Krishna always. But no. Gopis selected to go back without Krishna because of this understanding. Very interesting. They wanted to remain busy in Vrindavan and thus feel the presence of Krishna in every step of their lives. They immediately invited Krishna to come back to Vrindavan. This transcendental emotional existence of the gopis is the basic principle of Lord Chaitanya's teaching. Okay. So although they invited Krishna and Krishna gave them this philosophy, but they were not interested to go to Dwarka. They wanted to be there in Vrindavan in that mood of separation, to always think of Krishna there. So this mood of gopis was exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he appeared 500 years back on this planet Earth as a devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in the mood of separation from the Lord. Srimati Radharani refused to go with Krishna to Dwarka to enjoy his company in the atmosphere of royal opulence, but wanted to enjoy his company in the original Vrindavan atmosphere. Lord Krishna, being profoundly attached to the gopis, never goes away from Vrindavan, and the gopis and other residents of Vrindavan remain fully satisfied in Krishna consciousness. So actually Krishna is always present with them. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And gopis are also not interested in leaving Vrindavan. They don't want to go to Dwarka. They want to enjoy that Vrindavan atmosphere, presence of Krishna in their life. Okay, so this way, Srila Prabhupada explains that even in material world, when we render service, this understanding that Krishna is present with us everywhere. Correct? And if we can connect everything to Krishna, so in that way we can always think of the Lord. We will never be separated from the Lord. Like gopis were always thinking of Krishna, 24 hours. And Krishna explained, Yamam Vapi Smaran Bhavam Tajate Ante Kalega. If a person can continue his life like this, and at the time of death, he can leave his body in this mood of Krishna consciousness, then he will actually attain perfection, or attaining shelter of Krishna in the spiritual world. Okay, so I will end here if anybody has any questions.